If you like this video and want to see more, then please subscribe to the channel. Just a top tip, don't ever let me paint your house. Got some Volvo seats fitted in the front. They're really nice seats, but as you can see, the fairing on this one is broken. So today I'm going to attempt my first plastic welding. As you can see, it's broken just here. It's also broken in there. So if I can get that welded up, all the plastic's there. So wish me luck. As you can see, this has seen better days. It's getting quite old. But the areas that have broken, I've got this tab that goes on here. So that needs re-welding back on there. As you can see, actually there's a little bit of a crack there too that probably needs a little bit of attention. And the other part was this here that needs to weld back on there. Then we should be good to go. There was still one area that was still holding well. So what I'm going to be using is a soldering iron kit that I have purchased off of Amazon. You can see the soldering iron is cheap and cheerful, but it was only around about £20. But it does come with an awful lot of little accessories, including a lot of different tips, different sizes. So this bit's got a small crack in it, and I'm going to use this as a practice piece. It screws through here, so if I start over here, I don't see that I can do too much harm. So we'll see how we can go. So that really isn't very neat, but trust me, that's already worked. Let's try the other side. The trick really is to push some material towards the joint, just to build up the strength. And basically that's done a really good job. It's a little bit of a wobble, obviously because perhaps the centre of the material hasn't welded together. So I think probably the easier one to start with is going to be this one here. But let's see. If you can see that, that's actually quite neat. Be careful not to burn myself. Tempting fate here, using my left hand. Be careful not to burn any wires. See if we can tack this in a couple of places. What I'm doing is just drawing lines straight across it. We should melt material both sides. So that's gone off, as you can see. That's welded. Obviously not very strong weld. So I put the fairing back on the van, but it only lasted a few weeks. I think due to the fact that the seats are out of the Saab, and I've put them in a T5 van where you sit very high. As you get out of the van, your leg hits the fairing and puts an awful lot more pressure on it than it was designed to have. So what actually happened was this broke off here again and there. So the repair I previously did obviously wasn't strong enough. So I've taken it back off the van I've just tack welded it in a couple of places just to get the position back again. What I'm going to do this time is I bought a glass fibre kit. This is the sort of thing that you would patch up the bumpers or bodywork of your car. It is supposed to be quite strong. It says just to put one layer on, but I think I'm going to put 2 layers on, which will just give a little bit more strength. So we're going to give that a go. So let's see what the kit contains. So we got some fiberglass, we have the resin, got a little step-by-step guide, and we have the activator for the resin, a couple of mixing spatulas, and a little paintbrush. So it doesn't actually say you need to do this, but I want to give it the best key I possibly can, so I'm just going to rough up the area around it, and then I'll degrease it all. Next thing is to cut the fiberglass to size, but you really should wear gloves for this, because otherwise the slithers of glass just get into your fingers, which isn't very pleasant. Okay, so we've got 2 sheets. One sheet, one big sheet. So I'm going to put the piece in there. So with a pen I'm going to roughly just mark where I want to cut. And down here I just want some strips that aren't too wide. So I'm going to do those just over 1/2 inch wide, I think. Let's see what they look like. I think we can make those work. What I do want to do is go over the top to give it the strength on the joint. So it's a little bit long. As you can see, this isn't precision work. So I've now got my material cut. I've got 4 strips that size for just here, and the offcuts from those I think I'm going to use down the back of here. But in order to try and reduce the spread of the fiberglass, put it back in the bag. So over on this end I've done the first layer a little bit smaller than the second layer, so they overlap. Don't know whether you can see that on camera. So we need to mix some of this up. So the ratio you mix it to: 1 pea size of the hardener and 10 millilitres, which is 2 teaspoons of the resin. Just give that a good mix. You can see the colour changes. You don't need to do that, but it means when I put it on there, I can pretty much push it in place straight away. Let's get some more on. And the idea is to make sure there's no bubbles, which means everything is adhered to what it should have done. So I've made a bit of a mess in there because I'm really not very good at this sort of thing. Just a top tip, don't ever let me paint your house. So I've left it a day or so and it all looks pretty good. The outside's pretty clean, the inside is an absolute mess, but that's just my inexperience with the amount of resin that I put on. I obviously put on too much and it all drained away, but in the inside it doesn't matter, you can't see it. It is all absolutely rock solid, so that's really good. So I need to trim the excess off here. I need to recreate the hole through there, and also down at the end there I need to put the hole through too. So we're ready to refit this side panel now. So first thing I need to do is refit the electric seat switches, which just bolt down in there, so I'll do that now. So it's secured, one fastener under there, one fastener in here, and one fastener at the back here. Okay, it's back in place now. It all feels secure. As secure as the other side anyway. So that all works. Good. What I do think though, I think the van needs a wash.